To give us some ginger this morning, Rotus Oddiri.
Good morning, Rufai.
Morning,
Rotus. Good morning. Good morning to all our viewers.
Bring your
ginger. We start globally. Trump's tariff take effect today, but yesterday he slammed on another 25% on India. He continues to pick on India now. So this 25%, although there's a caveat, it's applicable after 21 days. So he's putting it out there to basically give them 3 more weeks to negotiate. But effectively now, this comes out to 50% if nothing happens after 21 days. And the interesting thing is this. China is still not in this conversation, and also he's picking on India because of they're buying Russian oil. But China is also buying Russian oil. And when you look at the U.S. trade with other countries as far as the trade deficits, China sits at number 1. That's the blue bars are 2023. The black bars are 24. So you see China, Mexico, Vietnam, as far as the top countries that have the largest trade surpluses with the US. So till now, no announcement of it. I hear he wants to meet up with Putin at some time. No sanction announcements yet on Russia, none on China. India just seems to be the punching bag here. To Apple, speaking of a punching bag, Tim Cook has been a punching bag of Trump for a while now. They had a whole White House ceremony yesterday. Apple says they're going to add another 100 billion investment in the US over a number of years, which takes their cumulative investment now to proposed to 600 billion. But Apple has been doing this. In 2018, they said they will invest 350. 2018, sorry. This is a press release on 2018. They said 350 billion contribution to the US over the next 5 years. Then in 2021, they said it was going to be 430 billion or so. Yeah, this was 430 billion over the next 5 years. Now, 2025 at 6. So you're going from 2018 to now, the pledges are about 1.3 trillion. But they even released a video. Tim Cook doesn't want to be. This was the video they put out yesterday. Tim Cook tweeted it. They're claiming they're going to create jobs. Look, Apple cannot move its supply chains to the US. It would just cost too much money. So most of the iPhones made now from the US that people in the US buy coming from India. They are the watches, the MacBooks, AirPods, those are from Vietnam. Still, most of their supply chain production is in China. So I understand that these factories they're planning to build is for the glass that goes on the iPhone and I think the watch, but they just can't do it. It would just be way too expensive. Tim Cook, I just feel so sorry for him. He had to go and essentially grovel in the White House. I don't know what this is, but I think he was trying to demonstrate the fact that the glass is going to be made here. So he presented this to Trump, the glass on a gold base in Kentucky, and then there was a presentation ceremony where he actually came into the the one in the White House, and I think we have the video, where he was putting it together and then handed it to the presentation, and then handed it to President Trump. I thought this was humiliating, but the thing is, Trump now is saying that they're still going to be chip tariffs coming next week. But he said if you are Apple and you are building in America, you will avoid the tariff, which is essentially Apple just lobbying to try and avoid it, because if the tariffs come in, they're going to hit them really, really hard. And we saw it in their most recent results. But, Rufai, we're talking yesterday. By the way, the president of Switzerland, she left with no deal. I don't know. I think 39% upon all the begging. So I don't know what's going to happen there. But, yeah, for Apple, it's just tough. Meanwhile, moving on from Apple, I think we're going to go to Ghana, Bank of England. Thank you to our production team. Bank of England, they will be making a rate decision today. I think they might cut, although inflation has been climbing in the UK. I think it's at 3.6% now, but it looks like they might cut from 4.25 to 4. That's what they're expecting. We'll get that decision later on. And then, to Ghana, inflation has been decelerating, but sadly, the big news, I think Vimbai broke this for us in our group, is that tragic helicopter crash that claimed the lives of some ministers. But Ghana's CD is up 39%. It has really
Mahama is doing a perfect job.
Splendid job. Good for him, but
him.
Also there's the dollar weakness too, and then there's other things there. But inflation has really been decelerating in that. Yeah, but Mahama he's trying, and he's and this has brought inflation down.
Perfect.
Perfect. But good job. Good job on his side. And then the Philippines. This is now goes into our rice. So this news came out yesterday. So the Philippines they said they're going to ban the importation of rice for 60 days starting September the 1st. And the reason why is to protect local farmers. Prices have started to drop precipitously. Now, this is a reverse of their decision in February of last year, where they decided to open up imports of rice because prices were rising. So at that time, I think there was weather issues. Philippines is the largest importer of rice. There's a chart here. This is actually from February of 2024. So that 3.8 million metric ton figure at the top, I think is actually 4.8 now. So it's actually grown since then. You can see Nigeria in 5th place. So, they're essentially trying to protect local farmers. And which, of course, brings me to your absolutely brutal interview that you had yesterday on Nigeria and our rice figure. So, I mean, just to put it out there for folks, if you look at it, Nigeria's rice, production as of 2024 going to 2025 is 5.2 million metric tons. It's not.
The data is not out. They say the data is not
well,
out. They've not done census. There's no census yet on the data.
It's 5.2 for the FAO. Well, you know what, Rufa, your sarcasm is heavy this morning.
No, they've not done census.
Just to put it, it's not 10 million. It's not 10 million.
Well, it's 10 million. It's 10 million.
No, it's not 10
It's not 10 million. What are you saying?
I think you guys put that gentleman under serious pressure yesterday, as you should, because that's what you should do. And then Rufai talks about this a lot. Where's that chart on yield? Our yield per hectare for rice, it has climbed. You can see it climbing from 2015 to 2025, but it's at 2.4. I mean, Ethiopia is at 3.3. I think South Africa is at 2.9. So I know Rufai continues to talk about how we need to increase our yield per hectare. And then ginger, right? I think you also touched on that yesterday.
Yeah, there's no consensus.
Yeah, so look, we are one of the top producers, I think top 3, along with India and China. But there was that, I think you mentioned yesterday, there was that big blight disease that hits a lot of them. So there was an estimated 12 billion naira in losses in 2023. The price of a bag went from like 50,000 naira in 2023 to about 300,000.
Sure about this data?
It's there. No, it's there. But you see, the thing is, there was the devaluation, there was the inflation, the removal of fuel subsidies, there was that big price shock. So that has been factored in there. I know the government is doing what they can, but we just need to put those numbers out there so everybody knows. So,
are we still one of the top 3 global producers, even after the blight?
No, even after the blight, yeah, because we're, I think, Cameroon, in fact, as far as Africa, we're well ahead. Only Cameroon comes close, but globally, it's India, Nigeria, China, who's next? Maybe Vietnam or Malaysia, one or so, but we're still up there.
So, Vimbai, I made a research yesterday, an investigation. Guess what? You are totally spot on about your concerns for ginger. Do you know that those big imported Chinese ginger, like they call it, I don't want to put the name of a country to it, I mean, I don't know where they are coming from.
Well, what I saw, the labeling said imported from China.
Imported from China.
Is a top producer.
Do you know that ginger has already found its way to the normal open markets? Normal open market that you think that you'll find the Nigerian ginger, the smaller one, it's already in that normal open market.
But remember, the blight disease really impacted our supply, so we had to import.
So we had to
and now with the dollar, with the naira devaluation, the importation now became more expensive. So prices went up. Yeah.
So that means we should look at it and see how we can ramp up production again. Yeah. So that means it's not 10 million.
No, it's not that.
It's 5 million. So can we say that the statistics that the government representative gave based on what you said is wrong?
Not very correct. They were.
No, what is wrong is wrong. Is that
he didn't really have his numbers. I think he was just drawing, he was grasping.
So it's wrong, it's wrong. Thirdly, see.
Yeah.
You see, I don't think, what's it called?
Tim Cook?
Tim Cook was groveling to Trump. You see, there's a Yoruba saying that says, call a madman a fine boy so you can just have your way. And that's what he did.
That is actually very accurate.
That's exactly what he did to
Say
Trump.
Say it in Yoruba, what is it?
Fine boy, so that's what he was doing. Yeah. Because most of the imports will still come from India. The same India he's tariffing. It will make
Apple is, thank you,
producing from India. So it will make iPhone prices more expensive for those in America.
Yeah.
But he has given him an audio announcement. He has taken that. He has given him an award because he knows he likes award. Yeah. He knows he's a narcissist. So he plays to his narcissistic part and excites him. Yeah. So he's playing the narcissist at his own game. In the end, when Trump discovers that he was tricking him, it will become a narcissistic injury.
Yeah.
And that's why he's going to flare up again and say, I'll tariff you again. Sorry, I yield the floor.
Yeah. I think we need to go. I would have loved to talk about the ban on rice
coordination.
imports.
I know you guys didn't plan it. I know you didn't plan it. I know, but I like the
Did you
random.
notice all of the ladies were wearing yellow? Did you notice that?
When was that?
At the beginning of the week.
Oh, really?
Yes, we were wearing yellow.
Okay. I like it. I like
it. I would have loved to speak very briefly on the ban on rice imports because I mean that reminds us of a similar story very close to home, and I'd love to see how they're going to support those industries through the period because of course we've now seen that banning alone doesn't work. So I'm very curious to see how the Philippines handles this and what it will do to the global rice price as well because that impacts us because we are importing at the moment.
Indeed.
All right.